Okay, so I've also updated my door elevation legend to show the elevation type here. I think that's a lot readable. Add a dimension and also added the frame. So made it look very similar to what we have. So that will be my front door with the swing and the knob and the back door, and then the door or interior doors. And if you notice, initially it was all magenta in the door layer. And if you change the color from magenta to green, so that line thickness is becoming thinner, and then gray, your drawing pops out. Okay, so make sure you also do that. Okay, so we're going to continue with our uh, elevation. So from here, we want to add some other things, and we want to maybe put some band of rough stone at the bottom when we hatch. There's a door and the different color. Okay, so I'm going to come here and add a nice offset of about let's say this is 3 feet, maybe 2 feet. Okay, so I'll offset 2 feet. Okay, and of course change that to uh, a thin color, and maybe add the second, maybe a couple of inches. So offset by 2 inches this. Okay, and then I'm going to trim the excesses. So trim this. Okay. Uh, so there'll be nothing there in the door jamb. And then trim this as well. Okay, so when we add hatch patterns, we're not going to uh, or we're going to change the hatch pattern for the top portion. So that could be paint or some vinyl, and then some stonework here. Okay. Now, something I forgot to uh, extend. So we're going to create our roof line, and we also need to extend this. Remember, this was the 45-degree angle, and we need to extend this. Okay, project this down. Okay, so I'm going to copy that, and I will know where to terminate my roof when I create my angle here or slope for the roof. So that's where the top or apex of the roof will be. Okay, so now let's go back to our lecture. And so we've done the first elevation for the walls, right? So elevations is really a simple projection from your building. That will be the side views, but it is drawn in the true size. So it's not like foreshortened. So even if this is at the back, right, it will be projected as if they were all at the front so that they have all the true sizes. Okay, so we started with the south. So when you look at your compass, where you're standing, if you're standing here and that's the direction of the south, that's the south elevation. So at the top will be the north, this will be the west, and then the east elevations. Okay, so you make projections, or you can also do the tracking system. I like the projection because I can then just copy, 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 and it's so easy. Tracking, you have to maintain the tracking, and if you miss that, then you have to, make sure you align it. Here, of course, the difference is you need to trim, and I don't think trim is that difficult. So trimming for me is easy. I like, as I always say, trimming and offset. Those are my best friends in terms of commands. Okay, so we added the layers. Okay, and then we're starting with the south elevation. Now we're about to create the roof. Now, when we talk about roof, we talk about the angle or the slope, which we call the pitch of the roof. Now, you can see here that the angle could be from 0 to 12 or a flat roof. Technically, they're not really zero. It should slope toward a drain and up to 1212, which is a 45-degree pitch, okay? And or angle, which is the 1212 pitch. So that would be 45-degree slope. Now, to do that, we first want to make an overhang and then the uh, fascia, and then we'll have the slope, okay? Now, there are different types of roof. Again, like I said, the flat. If there are two slopes, then that will be the gable. Okay, you have the hip, and one slope will be the shed type. Okay, so for our drawing, normally you'll see a triangle somewhere here, right? So, and we're going to maybe do something like a 912. Okay, so about 712 to 912 will be a nice roof. Okay, so let's look at this link right here. And so you'll see in the link, if you click that, uh, some, roofing system, or how, roofing works, and then, construction and all that. Uh, so something to investigate. So there are nice links right here that you can go to. Okay, so going back, we want to first make sure we are in the roof layer. So again, let me turn on my filter and then go to my roof. Okay, so double click on that. So I'm in the proper layer. And then I'm going to create a line. So my line will be 12 inches to the left, and then the slope. Okay, so 9, that will be the depth. So let's say 9, and then close it. Now that shows you the slope for the roof, okay, that we can use by using the parallel option. Okay, so from here, we're going to start drawing our overhang. So we go out by, let's say, a foot, okay, foot to 2 feet. So I'll use 2 feet. Okay. Oh, sorry, I forgot. So it should be coming from our drawing. So we already have done this in our site plan. So we also need to copy that. Okay, so copy this. Now, I don't need to copy the other side because I can just mirror this later on. Okay, so there you go. So that's the overhang. I think we defined that already. So we can go here up to the right, just click and then go up by, let's say, 10 inches. So 10. And then when we are doing the roof, okay, you want to turn off the polar tracking. F10 is the shortcut key. So press F10 to turn that on or off. So function F10. So that's off. So it doesn't snap to the 45-degree angle. Okay. Now we do want to snap it to or similar to or parallel to this slope. So you can shift right click since we don't do this often and select parallel. So you can hover over that, don't click, and then it will snap to that slope. Okay. So that becomes your parallel line. And you want to go beyond this red projection line because that's where the roof will end. Now it's a bit tall, right? So you might want to design a roof that's you know, maybe you can check, right? What's the angle that you'd like to have? So I think that's a little bit too tall. Okay. So I can definitely change the angle. Uh, so let's do that. And again, going back to our table right here, notice that, yeah, that's about 36 degrees 9. So maybe with like a 30-degree or maybe even a shallower roof. So that one, seems to be really high. But then this one doesn't do the 45-degree angle. That's going to be tough for contractor. Normally, you want this to be at 45-degree angle so that it's easy for them to create miter joints or all those joinery, especially if made with with wood, sorry. So maybe I'll use the 5 by 12, okay? So 5 by 12. So I can definitely use this, or you can make a collection of this. So I'm just going to, instead of deleting that, copy this right here. And I'm going to offset this by 5 inches. Okay, so that'll be my 5 inches. And I can now create a line from here to there. Okay. Or there's this nice option where you can select this and simply make that a hot grip and then move it there. Okay. So that trims it for you. Okay. So okay, now I have I think a nice shallower slope. Okay, so I'm going to do the line command again. Start here. Now, polar tracking is off. F10, shift right click, select parallel. Okay, just hover over this line. Okay, and then it will snap. Okay, to that degree or slope. Click, and you're good. Okay. Now, my line will end there, so I can trim this, okay? And then I can draw my draw my line continuation up to that point. Okay, so that line is the line right here. Okay, and then I can just mirror this. Okay, so mirror. Again, it would be nice if you'd complete this with maybe some the gutter and all that. But for this exercise, we're just going to show this simple representation. Okay, so I'm going to mirror that from the middle. There it is. See? Uh, okay, that's what I'm doing. That will be my mirror line, and no to erase source object, which is this object right here. Okay, maybe draw a nice line right here to define the fascia. And then we can hatch that later on with a roof pattern. Okay, so I don't need this anymore. So I can delete, oops, sorry. I can erase this. And I'm going to move this from here to somewhere here. And then you can type a value of 912 here. So that's normally, or sorry, 512. That's normally what you'd like to do. Now this one, you can move and maybe make a collection of this for future use. So maybe even the 5 by 12. Yeah, make a copy of that. So you don't have to redo it each time. Okay, so 5 by 12. Okay. Especially when after we've labeled it. Okay, so now, yeah, for this one, I really don't want it to show us a thick line. So a thin line, green line would be nice. Okay. And some will maybe even make this a thicker line. It's up to you. Okay. Now for the fascia, maybe I'll make this one thinner line. Okay. Again, anytime you're using all or your lines are showing or using the same color or line weight, it will actually become flat. Your drawing will become flat or look flat. Okay. So offset this by 2 inches. Maybe a little design there will be nice. And then we're ready to do our hatch patterns. Okay. So that will be our next video.